Everybody says Trevor Lawrence number 1, Jacksonville, call it.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Palmer, who has worked with Trevor Lawrence, came out and said, like, hey, Pat, you'd love this guy. He's all ball. He has been in a fishbowl his entire life. People have expected him to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft since he was high school. He's had all eyes on him every single day of his life in this modern technology world. And he has not only not fucked up, he's actually thrived, became a leader, and remains cool. You're going to love him. Okay, so Trevor Lawrence locked in at 1 to Jacksonville with Urban Meyer and the Jaguars is something we all understand. Then at number 2, New York Jets taking Zachary Wilson. We all just have kind of bought in and understood that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
What if they don't take Zachary Wilson? What if Justin Fields is going to be the number 2 overall pick, especially now that we're hearing that the Niners, via Adam Schefter, who just a week ago proclaimed, and Adam Schefter, once again, can't say this enough, works at ESPN. He's been around the game a long time. That dude knew things that were happening with my team before I did whenever I was on the team. He has insiders, it feels like, at very high levels every single place. That's why whenever he drops a little gem that's an atom bomb, things actually happen. Mm-hmm. Last week he said Mac Jones, if he doesn't go to the Niners, I'd be very surprised. This week he's like, wait a second, they might be open to who's at number 3. Maybe Justin Fields could potentially become the number 3 overall pick instead of Mac Jones. Adam Schefter says he believes the 49ers preferred Mac Jones now, but are keeping an open mind with the number 3 pick. He said that to what happened?
I don't know.
I don't know when.
What I cannot see the right half of the screen.
Even full screen?
No, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
It makes it worse.
Covers up more of it.
What's his name? MAIO. That's as far as
CCO NBCS.
Okay, we appreciate that conversation that Schefter had over there this morning. So now, does that mean because they're going to Justin Fields' second pro day, are they open for, if Justin Fields throws good today, he's potentially a number 3? Or have they potentially never really been bought in on anybody and this is all a game of poker and they're lying to everybody? And maybe the New York Jets, who have allegedly been locked in on Zach Wilson, maybe they're doing that to make other people think like, the Jets don't even want Justin Fields as the number 2 guy to kind of draw that. We know nothing at this point. Yeah. No matter what information comes out, I believe it's real information. I believe Schefter was told by somebody who does know what's going on over there, some information, but why is that information getting out? What narrative is trying to be pushed, and how does this thing play out? The draft, April 29th, where we will have a draft spectacular with surprise guests. It is going to happen. It'll be a great time, the first round. There's a chance all hell could break loose.
Oh, yeah.
Other than Trevor Lawrence being locked in, I think everything else is potentially still maybe a question mark. And at this point, the clock is ticking. Mm-hmm. And franchises' entire billion-dollar operations depend upon these top 5, top 6 picks, especially in the next couple years. You're looking for a franchise changer. You're looking for an organizational face to be drafted in those top 5 picks, top 6 picks. Now the Falcons at 4 maybe take a quarterback. Are they saying that so somebody will come trade with them to get a quarterback? Or are they saying that because they mean it? I feel like this year we don't know a fucking thing at this point.
Do you think there's any way that the 49ers have maybe looked at Jimmy G and fallen, I don't know, not back in love with him, but then they're thinking hey, why don't we go get Pitts at number 3? You got Pitts and Kittle.
A lot of people would say that they could have traded lower in the draft. They went to 3 because they knew they had a guy. Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of people would say. They gave up a lot. You move all the way up to 3, you must already know your answer. But now it sounds like maybe they don't. They just get up in the game maybe. At the top of the draft, we know Trevor Lawrence going to Jacksonville, okay? Check mark, we're all there. We've all bought it in since the pro day where Urban Meyer and he set up his surgery or whatever. At 2 was Zach Wilson, and then at 3 with Mac Jones. Now there's conflicting reports that they're not sold. Are they sold? What are you hearing? And do you think draft night is potentially going to be a pretty big night of action?
It's weird to me when the big trade happens before the draft. We've seen some where it has and some where it hasn't, right? And it does feel like the craziness almost has already happened with the 49ers trading up and the Dolphins trading back and trading up again. So I feel like those trades, it's more fun for me, more fun for everyone if those trades happen before draft night. But they didn't. So I still think we could get some intrigue here because I think you're right on 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. But number 3, the 49ers are doing all the work, right? So they're going to Ohio State for Justin Fields' pro day. Second pro day. They're going to North Dakota for Trey Lance's second pro day. They're all going to be there. And they're going to do the thing where they evaluate everyone. I believe there is a leader in the clubhouse. I don't know who, although the conventional wisdom is that it's Mac Jones, but I know there's been no final decision. I believe Trey Lance would also be heavily in the conversation in San Fran. So we'll see which way they go.
Fargo.
Wow.
Probably the most interesting quarterback decision we've seen in some time, especially if it's Mac Jones, who I think some people view as more of a mid to late first rounder.
Okay, and some people are potentially media people or team people you talk to?
Team people.
Okay, cool.
But-
Go ahead.
But it also sort of like, I kind of don't know if it matters, right? Because if the 49ers have number 3 and they just want to get their guy and they know that he is going to be their franchise starter for 10 years, then it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
And they should just go get him. But that pick, how sold they are on Mac Jones at 3, if that is it, is going to be the most fascinating pick we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, out of the 32 owners, you only need one to be interested. A lot better if 2 are, though. A lot better. Life is a lot better if 2 or more are in that entire thing. So you think Zach Wilson to the Jets is a locked up? And then allegedly now the Falcons are thinking quarterback there with Matt Ryan owed like $100 million and him not being traded by this point. You would assume they're going to take that on. Are they really thinking quarterback, or is there a thought they're thinking narrative that they want people to think they're thinking quarterback, so they trade up to potentially get that particular pick?
I would say first on Zach Wilson, I think he probably does go number 2.
Okay, congrats, Zach.
I mean, Joe Douglas basically came out and said at his press conference, like, yeah, I think everyone's been on it. And I'm like, okay, that's not a confirm.
Who said that? Who said that?
Joe Douglas at his press conference. He basically said, like, people seem to know our plans, and then was like, so, I mean.
Wow.
Oh,
Seems
so
that's
he's
the way it's
bullshitting then. I would have to watch that back. That's him calling you guys out, saying that everybody has our plans etched in stone, but maybe I didn't hear the delivery. Was the inference that you guys are full of shit in the insider game? Was that the inference from Joe Douglas?
I don't know. It was kind of deadpan.
So maybe we shouldn't have congratulated Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, good for Joe.
I mean, I think it's going to be him, but that
Joe
would be
D's
real
caught the
awkward.
Oreo. Yeah.
It's like, you know, he's some old takes exposed kind of stuff. He'd be like, oh, thanks, guys. I'm going to love New York. And then it's not.
Got it.
The Falcons, though, just as interesting there because you're right. They have Matt Ryan for a lot of money. Not going to trade him this year. But they do have a little bit of a luxury, and they can take, if they want, a quarterback. And a lot of the people I speak with think that the Falcons go quarterback.
Oh.
They have the luxury of just having someone sit for a year or 2 years and just taking their time. Like you hope to never get to pick that high, but if you are, you might as well take a quarterback and just figure it out, right? Because you'd rather have them than not. So, I mean, that's the way. If I had to guess right now, that would be my guess on that.
And there might be a massive offer to get up to 4, depending upon what the first 3 picks do too. So the Falcons are sitting in a pretty good spot there. The thought though of drafting a guy at 4 overall and then basically telling him he's going to sit for 2 years is an interesting kind of you get it, experiment there. How is that going to pan? I don't know. That's an interesting, because Matt Ryan too could potentially be like, well, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a weird thing, but like you said, you never know when you're going to be in a top 4 pick. Mike Tomlin told Chase Young, I don't ever want to lose as many games to get somebody like you or whatever that looks like you, which is real. Once you're up there in the top 5, that is a promise ground both for other people's shit and for something potentially awesome that's a franchise changer.